So we were talking a lot about detoxing from things like medications and things that we're exposed to. But I know you mentioned on either your website or your blog that really this can be helpful for those who maybe have a little too much to drink on the weekend. It can help you recover faster from a night out. Is it the exact same mechanism? How does glutathione help when you've had a little bit too much alcohol?
Helps your body clear out the alcohol quicker. That's like a tried and true. And I have patients who confess, I'm like, why do you want so much of that? Because we have a capsule form also. We have the pixie sticks that have like a whole immune complex in them, for kids and adults. And then we have capsules that are just glutathione and vitamin C. And I have some patients and they're like, I need more. And I'm like, what are you doing? I'm only recommending 2 capsules before bed. And it's because it is like amazing for preventing a hangover. I do not advocate the use of alcohol because it's a neurotoxin. We're learning, especially for women, but for everybody, it's just not, it's just not the best thing for your brain.
Not a good idea.
However, if you are going to drink, it works. It works. It works to help with liver clearance. That's what it's doing, So
would you take it ideally you're taking it long before, but would you notice improvements in your response if you take it the night of, or would you take it the morning after?
You just take it that night before bed.
Okay.
Take a decent amount, and then you feel good in the morning. And I was actually talking to somebody yesterday. We were talking about another practitioner about creating like mocktails because the Best Daily Ever Pixie Sticks taste really good. And so we're like, we should do mocktails. And and so I'm like, okay, I could see that. And then one of my friends is like, wait, so if you can do mocktails, could you technically combine it with, vodka and have an actual cocktail, but then the glutathione neutralizes the alcohol? I'm like, what a waste of money. But technically, actually, when I look at it, we have done no studies on this, but theoretically, you could take a pixie stick, put it in your cocktail, and make an actual cocktail, and you're not going to have as much of a toxic reaction. That's for sure. It just logically makes sense, But anyway,
I feel like so guys, Dr. Gina and I think you're going to Boston, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh, guys, Dr. Gina and I are going to hang out in Boston in a few weeks, and I have a feeling we're going to need to experiment with some of these different recipes. So around July 4th, be looking for like some really fun Instagram content. I feel it coming.
It makes sense. So, and
it does make sense.
We'll have to experiment with that.
Yeah. I don't know, like you said, there are no studies on that, but that would be interesting to see if it negates some of the negative effects that we're learning about more and more that we really didn't have a full appreciation of just a few years ago.
It makes logical sense. I've always told patients just take it that night, and then in the morning they feel fine, right? But taking it at the same time, I could see a neutralizing effect.
Yeah.
So, that's gonna be fun.
Okay, so I know, I'm telling you, I've got all these ideas already. Maybe we don't even wait until Boston. I've got so many ideas. Okay, so let's go from one toxic exposure to the next. Talk about why you are so passionate about kids and sugar. And is it possible that maybe I can tell my children that I'm not the biggest sugar police out there? Maybe it's you.
I do not want that. No.
I don't either, but my kids say that to me.
I must confess, I may still have a little bit of a need for my daughter to like me, just a little bit. I said no. Look.
See, I've already got one that's a teenager, so I've given up on it.
Right, that's kind of when you have to let it go. And I do not. We don't have all the candy in our house and stuff like that, right? But I'm not. It's about balance. You can't fully restrict them. We live in this world. I'm more about education. So I'll say to my daughter, if she's wants a piece of candy, just don't ask me anymore. She's gonna be 12. I'm like, ask yourself. You know what I'm gonna say, and all this, what it does in the brain and all that. Just ask yourself. And if you're like, no, cost benefit analysis, this is gonna work for me, then go for it. Right. So that's kind of, let me just say that. But
Love it.
sugar is highly addictive. It's been shown to be as addictive as cocaine, right? And so it's real. It electrifies the whole opioid system, just like fentanyl. I mean, it really has a significant impact on the body and the brain, and especially in kids. Our kids today, I am passionate about this subject. Our kids are exposed to so much stress, and just with having to go through COVID and, all that they're facing. If there's a way to help counter some of that and help them to not have those toxic effects from the sugar that they're consuming, or if I can create something where, instead of the pixie stick, they'll actually take this other thing that helps their brain and helps their immune system, well, then great. And so, sugar, it is highly addictive. It's a thing, and we all know it as parents, and so we all try to do
We
what
do
we
our
can.
best.
And
Yeah.
it is about balance. I just kind of envision, and again, this kind of, I masterminded this during COVID when I'm homeschooling, and I just picture these pixie sticks going into a lunchbox at school. I'm like, okay, my
Yes.
daughter has consumed this what's in here, which has vitamin D3 and magnesium and zinc and vitamin C and glutathione. If she's had that, I'm good because I can't control everything she's eating, and so that's the deal with that. Sugar is highly addictive. Not only does it affect the brain directly, but also, it increases risk for just altering your whole gut microbiome. You're feeding the bad stuff in your gut, and that can also lead to, and there's, like we've talked about this for years, but it's really come to the forefront now, the importance of the gut microbiome and how that impacts the brain. Right?
Huge.
And they're interconnected, and sugar not only has that addictive behavior and causes the sugar high and the crash, and causes weight gain and all those things, but it also is feeding slowly over time the bad stuff in the gut. And that, it is extremely harmful to kids as they're developing and as they're building their immune systems and trying to function optimally, in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's see. Our kids' brains. Tell me about rainbow fentanyl. What even is that?
So rainbow fentanyl, it's a synthetic opioid, and it looks like it can mask itself as Skittles. So it gets mixed up with candy in terms of appearance. And so it's 50 times more potent than heroin, 100 times more potent than morphine. So one dose of this rainbow fentanyl can kill. One dose, right? And so I started talking about this during Halloween. Talk about a buzzkill. It wasn't meant to be that way, but it's true. And look, it's true. It's important for us to know what's out there, And it's just one more reason to be real mindful of, where the candy is coming from, and just be aware. It's sad, but there are drugs like rainbow fentanyl that are being packaged to look and feel like candy.
Yeah.
And so it's just something to be aware of, not to get scared about or anything like that, but just kind of in the back of your mind know, hey, that exists out there. What can I do? What actions can I take to help protect my children from exposure to it as best as you can?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So my whole thing is swapping the sugar. So I'm trying to instead of a pixie stick, we've got this other thing that tastes like a pixie stick, but wow, it's actually good for you. So rather than it being harmful, it tastes good. It'll give you a good feeling, right? So when I drink Best Daily Ever, I feel good. You feel it, right? So it's just like sugar makes you feel good. Glutathione makes you feel good. Vitamin D3 makes you feel good, right? Glycine makes you feel good. And so that's my whole thing, is kind of, as best we can, swapping out the sugar for things like this.
Yes. And I think that Halloween was super smart, because people can when it rolls around up next this year, then absolutely, how much easier would that be to have something that is individually packaged, so it's safe, it's in really pretty packaging, so kids will want it because it looks fun, and it's still sweet and safe and good for you, and can maybe even counteract some of the other crap that they get from other places too.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And we have the same parenting philosophy too. Like I can't control everything. My kids are big enough now that they have access to food outside of the house. We have a 3-generation household, so there are groceries coming into the house that I have no control over, because I can't tell my in-laws how to eat or not eat because they're grown.
I tried that. It didn't work well. It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. Um, so the less control I have over things, if we can just offer good choices, give our kids the information, empower them to make decisions that make them feel good in their bodies, and help them along the way, and cover the rest in prayer.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, and trust, and then
Yeah.
trust the process and lead by example too, right? So I know,
Yes.
your children are watching what you're doing, whether they might totally counter it or whatever, but they're still watching. And so,
Absolutely.
we have the adult pixie. I drink the pixie sticks, I like it.
Mhm.
And I know that my daughter's watching, and that's enough. That's enough.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, letting go of that control, that's a tough one. But
It's so hard. It's so hard. And I actually think I have it easier as a working mom whose kids go to school than a lot of my patients and listeners, because we serve a lot of homeschool families, where mom is at home all day, every day. And I feel like their job is much harder in a way because because they have more opportunity to control the environment. They feel that guilt and like they have to control the environment all the time.
Yeah, and God bless all homeschoolers. I think it's amazing, and such a huge, amazing thing that they're doing, and just my gosh.
Yes.
It's a huge deal. So thank you to everybody who's homeschooling. I did it during COVID, and while I loved it and I saw the benefit, it was amazing to my child. It's a lot. It's a lot, and so yeah, being able to just not be so hard on yourself. All of us as mothers. I mean,
Yes.
really, if we could let go of being so darn hard on ourselves,
Absolutely.
we're doing the very best we can. So.
Absolutely. Yes, we are. And so it was Mother's Day recently. Did you guys do anything for Mother's Day?
Yeah, we did. So I love hosting Mother's Day at my home. And so we had my mom and my sister. We just had a really special day. I snuck my daughter away to Kauai right before that, kind of for a Mother's Day little retreat.
Oh,
And
that's
so we got back
amazing.
like the day before Mother's Day. My daughter was born there. So it was a very special place for she and I.
Oh,
Yeah. And so we did that. And then we had a party at home, just the 3 generations.
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So if you could give moms one little piece of hope or encouragement, what would you say to them?
Remember who you are. Remember who you are and be who you truly are. And that'll be the greatest gift that you can give to your children, who are blessed to be with you and you're blessed to be with them. So.
Love it. Love it. Love it.